There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems.
What's the next report they're going to release? That Kamala Harris cackles too much? That Joe Biden really did not have a functioning brain at the debate? Oh my God.
Disrupted.
Weird thing to happen. There has been talks that the Trump administration is pursuing legal action on former President Barack Obama for treason. And while there's a lot of things we could be saying about Barack Obama, there's a lot of, legality we could be pursuing and investigating and following up on doing justice to Barack Obama on top of many other administrations. Let's just say that. I mean, you look at the Bushes, you look at the Clintons, you look at Joe Biden, you look at, a lot of people in politics. I mean, it's literally a criminal cabal of individuals. The thing that is so puzzling to me, though, is why they're choosing now. Why are they choosing now to pursue legal action on the Obama administration? Especially knowing, since we know that people are still upset and questioning about why they're not releasing the Epstein clientele list. We know that there's on pursuit to keep that under wraps, to keep Trump's image from being tainted. So why all of a sudden now they're going after Barack Obama? Why all of a sudden now they are going, to do justice to former administrations that have done wrongdoing? Well, here's Tulsi Gabbard, who's the director of national intelligence. She went on to Fox News, and Tulsi Gabbard doubled down after Barack Obama denied her claim that he manipulated intelligence to implicate Donald Trump and Russia. So, no doubt that Barack Obama and so many others within the Democratic Party, not just him, built and manufactured this narrative of Russiagate. That Donald Trump was, campaigning alongside with Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin gave secrets. They were hacking the DNC. They were doing it was all fabricated lie from the start. And it was proven numerous times before. Many journalists have pointed it out. Aaron Mate being, extraordinary when it comes to pointing out the flaws of Russiagate. We then found the Mueller report was completely vague and empty. And yes, there's a lot of investigation that needs to be revealed about Russiagate, about, turning 2 wars into 7, how it was a direct line. Russiagate was a direct line for not only trying to bash the Trump campaign, but also a direct line to get people angry enough so that we could start a war with Russia. That's what we're currently doing right now with Ukraine. So there's a lot of things there. But again, why are they choosing now? Why are they choosing now when, if Trump really wanted to smack it down, he could have done this while the DNC was continuously bombarding him with the Russiagate hoax? So here's what Tulsi Gabbard says.
Give me your response to what we heard from former President Obama there. He's saying that none of this makes any sense, that this is a distraction. What do you say to that?
It's the art of deflection coming from former President Obama, as well as his friends who are still in Congress today, and Senator Warner and Congressman Jim Himes, really all basically saying that exact same statement, which doesn't actually address the issue that was revealed in great detail in the over 100 documents that we released last week, and the documents that we will be releasing later this week, that point to the undeniable fact that you laid out in your introduction to this segment, is that the intelligence community had one assessment: that Russia did not have the intent or capability to try to impact the outcome of the U.S. election leading up to Election Day. The same assessment was made after Donald Trump was elected by the American people as president in 2016, defeating Hillary Clinton. And it wasn't until after that pulled President's Daily Brief document that you referenced that the Principals Committee was called in the National Security Council, And President Obama then directed Obama's DNI James Clapper to lead the effort to create this new intelligence community assessment that detailed not if, but how Moscow attempted to influence the outcome of the U.S. election. So this is the thing that I think people should pay attention to, is neither the message from President Obama's office, neither the statements coming from Democrats in Congress today and their friends in the propaganda media. None of them are addressing this fact that there was a shift, a 180-degree shift from the intelligence community's assessment leading up to the election to the one that President Obama directed be produced after Donald Trump won the election, that completely contradicted those assessments that had come previously. The second thing I want to address that's very important, Laura, is that you in the clip that you played, you saw John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey stated with high confidence this January intelligence community assessment that they drafted at the direction of President Obama. The fact is that they used already discredited information like the Steele dossier. They knew it was discredited at that time, yet they used it as a source for this document that they claim to have high confidence in. They used intelligence that some of these intelligence community professionals rejected previously because of the lack of credibility and the lack of the ability to vet with any kind of confidence whether or not that information or intelligence was accurate and could be used for an assessment. There's a long laundry list of facts and intelligence reporting that directly contradict the statement coming from President Obama's office and those who are trying to deflect away from what actually happened, which was after Donald Trump was elected, led by President Obama, there was an effort to create a document that would serve as a foundation for what would be a years-long coup against President Trump, therefore trying to subvert the will of the American people who sent him to the White House in 2016.
So I'm not trying to discredit Tulsi Gabbard by showing this clip, because she's right. She's right that they fabricated the Steele dossier, they fabricated the Russian hoax, they played it upon people, they manufactured this narrative to stir up in the media, not only to try to smack down the Trump campaign and Trump's winning of the election in 2016, but also, like I said, it's a direct pipeline going to the war in Ukraine. They needed something to drive people up, their anger, their frustration of Russia. So to make people believe that somehow Russia hacked the election and stole away from Hillary Clinton, who was a very awful candidate, to a game show host, a loudmouth game show host, that's going to get people fueled up so angrily that, of course, they're just going to accept, going after Russia. And they're going to accept a war against Russia. They just need Ukraine to be the cannon fodder. They need Ukraine to be the pawns. So, understandably, Tulsi is right about this, but you notice how at the start of the conversation, she said this is the art of deflection, which really reveals why even her speaking about this, coming out now, is deflection. That she's actually doing art of deflection because she knows that she needs to do something to cover up everyone's suspicion about the Epstein list and whether or not Donald Trump is a part of it. And considering that they kept this under the rug, they don't want to be exposed. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, came out and did this stomp and dance about how we got to protect the victims. That's why we're not releasing the list. We got to protect the victims. When really it's about protecting themselves. Because the victims want justice. The people want justice. Not just Republicans, not just MAGA, but everybody. Everybody that's been concerned about pedophilia. Anyone that's been concerned about members with in Congress and members within higher power doing deliberate, disgusting acts. But they have to keep it under wraps because, as it's been revealed, and what we know about the Epstein, the whole reason behind Epstein and, this circle of diabolical people is blackmail. They have to keep it under wraps because if they don't have the blackmail, they don't have the deception, to trick people and to lie to people and confront people and make them do their dirty work, then there goes the entire foundation of Western power. The empire is completely toast. So Tulsi Gabbard to come out and say something about Barack Obama now, instead of just revealing all this back in 2016 or even at the start of Trump's campaign, you're doing the deflection. You're actually doing the deflection. You're trying to hide people away, try to get them away from Jeffrey Epstein and the client list. You're trying to deflect them away by saying, here, look, Obama. Remember that guy? We're actually going to pursue action on him. And the other thing to mention is it's all theatrics. It's all theatrics. Because like any administration, they always talk about how the previous administration screwed up people, screwed up the country, done unlawful tactics, so on and so forth, done treason and whatnot. Do they actually pursue action? No. Remember when Barack Obama first got in and people were wondering if he was going to prosecute George W. Bush for lying the entire nation into an illegal invasion that cost trillions of dollars? No. Barack Obama said that's in the past. That's in the past. We got to look forward. Just like how Trump has recently said that. And we know that Trump never pursued action on Hillary Clinton, never pursued action on Barack Obama, never pursued any action on his, so-called mortal enemies. Remember when he said Liz Cheney? He was going to take care of Liz Cheney. He was going to put her on the stands and have people shoot at her or whatever he said. Remember that? That never happened. Nothing ever happened. So it's all theatrics. It's all theatrics. And the reason that they're saying this now is exactly the art of deflection. They don't want people talking about Epstein. They don't want people pursuing more questioning of why the Trump administration is failing on their number one promise, was releasing the Epstein files. So now they're just going to release whatever else to distract people. It's the shiny spoon method. Oh, we're pursuing Barack Obama for Russiagate. Yeah, that's great. We already know Russiagate's a hoax. We already know that they lied to us. We know that the Steele dossier was a hoax. You know why? Because actual journalists already investigated it. Aaron Mate did breakdowns of it. Max Blumenthal, The Gray Zone, already preached about it. Jimmy Dore's covered it. Kim Iverson's covered it. Like, we've covered it. Like, how much more have we told people that they already understand? So this just seems like nonsense. It literally just seems like nonsense. It's glad that they're releasing some more documentation, but they're not going to pursue action. They're not going to try Barack Obama. Just like they didn't try George W. Bush. Just like they didn't do anything. It's all theatrics, folks. It's all theatrics. And here is Tulsi Gabbard once again, speaking to the press here, says, new Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard suggests Hillary Clinton used tranquilizers and had psycho-emotional problems. Wow. So is Tulsi Gabbard confirming that the Queen of Warmongers was a bipolar sociopath? Is that what I'm getting here? That's the vibe I'm feeling. That Hillary Clinton had a messed up mentality. It's going to be so great when they name an asylum after her, just like they do with Betty Ford. And it goes on to say there were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrollable fits of anger. Least surprising thing I've heard all day. And here's Tulsi Gabbard in the press gallery confirming it.
The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant increases in financing from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump.
Are you telling me that the kind granny from upstate New York who laughed about the death of Muammar Gaddafi, yelled at black kids, called them super predators, yelled at women and called them misogynists, called half the country deplorables, and screamed about how kids need to Pokemon go the polls? You're telling me she's psychotic? What? Whoa. Whoa. I gotta rethink everything now. I mean, it's literally just a show. It's literally like a soap opera that you already know. You already had the cliff notes to know this is already happening. We all know that Hillary Clinton was not well. We know this because it's been well documented, because other reporters have already investigated this. It's already came out. So, again, for Tulsi Gabbard to make this announcement, declaring that, she's pursuing action on Barack Obama and the Trump team is going, being transparent about Hillary Clinton, it really is just meaningless. It's really meaningless. It's deflection, because they know that the general public is still angered at them for not releasing the Epstein files. So they got to wave a shiny spoon. They got to dangle keys in front of you like a baby and try to distract you. And I'm sure that there's people in the MAGA crowd that are like, yeah, take down Obama. Rah! Are they actually going to follow suit? Are they actually going to try him for treason? Technically, I'm not a lawyer, but I think legally in the United States, they can't even do that when he was president, because I think there's a law restricting, trying someone for treason when you were in power. I don't think that could happen. I think that goes back to like Richard Nixon or something. Again, I'm not a lawyer, so that's just what I've heard. But you think about it. Think about it. How many times they had every opportunity to, do justice, had every opportunity to hold people accountable, and they fail at every point in turn. So, yeah, that's great. We released documents about Hillary Clinton's condition. We, realized that Russia gave us hoax. Yeah, that's great. First off, it's a little too late for you to mention that. And two, I know that nothing's going to be done about it. So what's the point? What's the point? You're just going to piss off more people releasing this documents. People are going to be angry and upset about it, but nothing's going to be done. There's no call to action for it. They're not going to go after Hillary Clinton. Remember, lock her up? That never happened. And it's never going to happen. Because someone like Hillary Clinton is the reason Donald Trump got into politics. So all the anti-Trumpers out there, you could be blaming her. You could be blaming Hillary Clinton for her demise against her own party and against the wishes of America to drive Donald Trump into politics. He used the Pied Piper strategy. She ushered him in to becoming the Republican running mate. And she lost her own election. What's the next report they're going to release? That Kamala Harris cackles too much? That Joe Biden really did not have a functioning brain at the debate? Oh my God. The shock. Hold the presses. Incoming yesterday news. So here's a bit of the documentation that they released about Hillary Clinton. Apparently, This is from DNC emails that they have collected and documents within the Democratic National Committee in regards to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. So here's some important stuff. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. I hope people can see that. So as of September 2016, the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service had Democratic National Committee information that President Obama and party leaders found the state of Secretary Clinton's health to be extraordinarily alarming and felt it could have had some serious negative impact on her election prospects. Her health information was being kept in strictest secrecy, and even close advisors were not being fully informed. So you remember somewhere in the campaign, she tripped, she fell, and people were speculating that she may have got pneumonia. And rather than taking her to a hospital, they hide her away. They put her into a motorcade and drove her to Chelsea Clinton's, her daughter's apartment, where they did a makeshift operation on her and kept it under wraps. Why would they do that? Why would they not take her to the hospital if they already claimed that she was having fell and stricken with pneumonia? Why would they keep that under wraps? Why would they keep that a secret and not bring her to the hospital to actually give her proper care and send her right to Chelsea Clinton's apartment? Why was that the case? Here's another one. The SVR possesses DNC communications that Clinton was suffering intensified psycho-emotional problems, including uncontrollable fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness. Wow. The bipolar sociopath, the queen of the warmongers, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. You know, fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness are also requirements to get on The View. Did you know that? I think it's right there in the application. You have to have all three. Like an emotional bingo. Clinton was placed on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers, and while afraid of losing, she remained obsessed with the thirst for power. No kidding. No kidding. You mean when she wrote a book blaming everyone but herself? No. She definitely was not narcissistic. She definitely didn't have an obsession with control and power. Wow. Again, it's interesting to find out that she was heavy tranquilized and she's, has these bipolar sociopathic entities within her. But this information just seems useless at this point. And considering the fact they're not going to actually pursue any action, it just makes this even worse. Here's something else. The SVR also had information that Clinton suffered from type 2 diabetes, ischemic heart disease, deep vein thrombosis, and chronic obstruction of pulmonary disease. What? The lady in the pantsuit apparently has more heart conditions than more heart conditions than Kevin James. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. What, did her and John Panay went to a buffet eating contest and did some blow with Steven Tyler? Wow. Here's some more. The SVR possesses a campaign email discussing a plan approved by Secretary Clinton to link Putin and Russian hackers to candidate Trump in order to distract the audience. Yes. Distract the American public from the Clinton email server scandal. Yes. We already know that. And now Tulsi Gabbard going on camera and now saying that she found this. Again, she's doing what Hillary Clinton was doing. It's deflection. It's, hey, we're not going to release important information that the American public needs to know and wants to know and desperate enough to know. we're going to shine a bunch of shiny keys in front of you, hoping it deflects you away from the important stuff, and you focus on this garbage, even though nothing's going to be done about it. The Russian Federal Security Service in August had details of secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which U.S. State Department representatives offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton, significant increases in financing from department funds and the patronage of the state in dealing with post-Soviet countries. FBI Director James Comey testified to the committee that in August 2016, the SVR and DNC emails in which the head of the DNC was telling people that Lynch, the former attorney general, was working control me and keeping a name member of the Clinton campaign informed on what the FBI was doing in the Clinton investigation. The SVR also had information that the DNC leadership and Clinton's foreign policy advisors had heard that U.S. allies in London, Berlin, Paris, and Rome were not optimistic about a Clinton presidency. They had expressed notes of doubt regarding her ability to perform the functions of head of state, and her election would create okay, I don't have the rest of that, but you get the picture. So European countries, our allies, are even concerned about Hillary Clinton. Again, I guess it's good that they bring this out. I guess it's better than not knowing this kind of information, that she was a tranquilizing, bipolar sociopath, obsessed with power, and the whole Russiagate was nonsense. But again, the whole purpose of this is deflection. Tulsi Gabbard is using this to deflect because she doesn't want to actually go under Trump's skin and do the whims of the general public and actually release the Epstein client list. Because they know, the Trump administration knows that Trump is on that list, and many of them are possibly on this list. And the reason they have to keep it under wraps is because if this information gets out, they lose the power of blackmail and deceit that the Epstein clientele, the entire orchestration, the circle within, has kept in trenches for decades. They've been doing this for decades. And if they lose that ability, there goes the entire Western power structure. That means the White House, the CIA, the FBI, the Canadian government, because we know that they're involved, the UK government, MI6, Mossad, you name it. All of them no longer have the influential power to control us and manipulate us because they don't have the blackmail to do it. So that's why you're going to see more and more of this garbage that we already know about. We've already confirmed. It's nice that they brought to detail so that the rest of the public can catch up on, but it's not going to actually do anything. It's not going to actually do anything. Like, they might as well just release information about Roswell. Does that mean they're actually going to pursue any action involved in Roswell and Area 51? No. But they, also released the MLK files. Does that mean they're going to pursue action on who shot down MLK? No. No. So this is just more nonsense. More nonsense to distract you and keep you on your toes away from the important stuff like, hey, let's track down on this billionaire escapade Peter file, because we're on the internet, I guess I should say it, Peter file, escapades, and the harboring and trafficking of young minors. Let's distract people away from that by bringing you this.